You are now listening to Broken Line Podcast, presented by Fish Addictions TV. Broken Line Podcast is sponsored by Ice Strong Titanium Spring Bobber, Eskimo Ice Fishing Gear, 13 Fishing, Striker Ice, Coles Resort of Bemidji, Minnesota, Aaron Eichhorst Photography.
All right.
Aaron, my man, what is going on?
I'm excited.
I can tell by the twinkle in your eye. You're super pumped up.
Yeah, just a little sparkle. So we are rocking podcast number 15.
Is it 15 or 16?
I don't even know at this point.
It's somewhere in there. Wait. See, our boy Steven, the fact checker, he's out.
Yeah, it's one of the next podcasts, and I don't even want to look it up because I'm just so ready to start this podcast.
We'll hammer that shit out later.
So we are going to be calling Jay.
Jay who?
Jay Siemens.
Yep.
From Canada.
Yep.
So
of uncut angling fame and his photography.
Yeah, he
fame.
is an awesome photographer, and he also is he started with uncut angling.
Yeah.
If anyone's
cool
ever
dude.
seen that. So
Love the
we're
guy.
gonna give him a call, and we're doing something a little bit different with this calling podcast. So since he is a video and photo guy like me, and we're nerdy like that, he's gonna videotape himself from his place. And and his audio is also going to be recorded too. So let's give him a call. Here we go. He's so excited.
I know.
Just
I bet.
Like me. All right, here we go.
Super pumped.
Calling now.
Oh, that sounds like the old AOL.
Ring.
Beep.
Hey, Jay, how's it going?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Hey, pretty good, Jay.
Doing awesome. Definitely doing awesome. So I was just doing the start out of the podcast, and I was just talking a little bit nerdiness on how excited I am to have another fellow photographer / videographer to talk nerdiness to. And
Jay,
it's good.
Jay, he hasn't stopped fidgeting.
Yeah.
He's been grinning. It's like Christmas for this guy.
You know, the thing is, there isn't that many photographers or videographers that specialize in hunting, fishing, so anytime you get a chance to chat with a fellow artist that specializes in that realm, it's good.
Absolutely, and it's weird.
This is long overdue. I mean, Aaron and I have chatted online for the past couple years, but
at least.
never actually. Yeah.
I know, and one of the things I have on my list to talk to you about is when are we taking a trip? And I messaged you. I'm like, let's just do it. I'll pay for my way. I'll help. Whatever. Let's just go do something fun.
Where would you guys go?
Well, because one of the other questions I have tagged to that is you take awesome trips. So, tell me a little bit about your photography background and the lowdown on your awesome trips. Like, why do you take these awesome trips? Because I want to come bad.
Photography background, man, that's a big question. Well, I didn't even get the bug for photography until probably after high school. It was I started working as a fishing guide when I was, I guess, 15 or 16. And then as that progressed, that was my summer job. I was working at the fishing lodge, guiding at different lodges in northern Manitoba, northern Saskatchewan. And then while I was up there, I, ended up upgrading my camera and trying to take the better picture, and like it kind of turned into a hobby. And then after high school, I was like, you know what, I should go to photography school. It was a 1-year course, and I was all jacked on that. And long story short, I backed out of school right before I was supposed to start because Aaron Weeb asked if I wanted to film uncut angling with him.
And you couldn't turn that down, right?
No, that was once in a lifetime. I was like, photography school would always be there, but to be able to film fishing, to be a part of a show, which is a dream for a lot of people, right?
And that was also that was before Aaron was even a thing, right? So I mean, technically, it was still a risk you were taking, but you heard, But in a sense, you were like, oh, TV show or show in general. Plus, you slightly knew him a little bit from school, and you were like, let's do this.
And I was like, I was 18 or 19 when it started. I was like, I can take a risk. If it flops, it is what it is. Photography school is always going to be there.
Absolutely.
But the chance to film with Aaron Weeb, and I looked up to him. And when that opportunity came, I told my parents, I said, hey, this is what's happening. And they were very supportive. And then through that, it just kept growing, and I had my own personal business on the side while I was filming Uncut with Aaron. And now my side business is the majority of my work, and I still work with Aaron when it works out. Our schedules are both so crazy it doesn't always line up, but
Man, I can only imagine.
it is what it is. And Aaron and I function a little bit differently. I'm planning more so a year in advance, and Aaron's planning a week in advance.
If not a
So there's nothing wrong with that. It's when the hot bite's on, you got to be there, right?
Right.
But
Exactly.
for me, doing a lot of filming mostly hunting and fishing, but it's just you got to plan further in advance with some of these lodges and stuff. And
So why did you?
That's how it works.
How did it progress into you taking trips to like Norway, and you went to Norway, right?
Iceland. Close.
Iceland. Close
But
enough.
very, very similar.
You went to Africa, right?
Yeah,
So-
you know what? I mean, the majority of my work's in the summertime, and then when winter rolls around, I'm working every day from, May till October, and then when winter hits, there's often more time to do some other stuff. So a bunch of those trips have been some for nonprofit organizations, so it's, if I'm not busy, I'd love to give back with my time. So then I'll shoot for some programs, university programs and different things like that. And then some other times it's just like, I want to do a cool trip and see if I can get some portfolio building stuff. So some of those shots, like when I went to Iceland, for example, it was just something that was on the bucket list as a landscape photographer's dream, and brought a buddy along. And I mean, yeah, I'll sell some of those pictures with prints, and some of those shots will make my highlight reel at the end of the year, but it's just to keep things fresh, and I just love to travel, so it's a good balance.
Absolutely, the travel part's a key.
You know what I'm noticing is Jay's passion for photography. It started out as a hobby, much like a fisherman.
Yeah.
Starts out as a hobby, then it becomes an obsession, then it turns into passion, and then you're willing to share that with everybody that you can. And
Well, I think
that's really cool.
everyone's got a gift, right? And I think as humans, I mean, no matter what it is, I think everybody can share something, and it'll, if photography is easy for me, right? It's like a lot of organizations or people are like, photos are a big deal because some people maybe have never had professional photos. So it's, if there's a chance that I can bless somebody with a photo shoot or something, whatever it might be, it's, if I have the time, I'd love to do it, and hopefully it encourages other people to do the same. So
That's awesome.
Yeah,
I kind of got goosebumps.
yeah, a little bit goosebumps there when you just. I mean, you hit
because we can relate.
Yeah, exactly. I can relate to exactly what you're saying. Patrick can relate. It's something that is well needed in this world. The world today. And when I say the world, I'm talking a lot about United States and the garbage we have going on here. And when you have someone that's willing to give and help, I don't know, that means a lot, coming from someone. So I think that's awesome. You can give and love and share through your photography. And that's something
thank you very much, yeah.
Absolutely, and that's something that not everyone can do. You say everyone has a gift, which is absolutely true. Some people's gift is to be a calculus junkie or something when they can, help out with taxes or something. But everyone has their own thing. But depending on how they use that in a positive way is a different story. You technically are doing that, and that's awesome. Awesome to hear in my mind. So.
Thank you very much. And I mean, same thing with fishing, right? Like I know, even taking a kid fishing, it can seem like something small, but it can like be life changing. Like.
Oh, absolutely.
And
I know for some people, if they didn't get into fishing, they'd be on a very different trajectory in their life, right? And
absolutely. And I started out, getting in the outdoors. I said, all right, kids and women is what I wanted to get in the outdoors. And now every year we do huge stuff for sure kids. Women's another story. The biggest thing with me is next generation, and getting kids one new rod in a kid's hand that's never fished before could be a difference of down the wrong path when they turn a certain age. Kids these days are starting out so much younger doing stupid stuff, and it sucks.
I mean, years ago when I was really heavy into rod building, I taught my best friend how to do it, and we would go to garage sales and we'd find old fishing rods, and we'd take them back to my little shop, and we'd put new guides on them and put new cork on them if we had to, and then we'd take these rods and we'd give them to kids as their very own rod.
That's sweet.
Yeah,
that's
great.
And these kids would just get us, and then we'd see them around our little community in Side Lake, just fishing from shore, just how I grew up doing it, and I'm just like, I'm getting, hopefully, some of these kids just find the same road that I'm traveling down, because it's wonderful. I meet a lot of super cool people, and it just feels really good to do what I'm doing. I'm sure just like you. It feels really good to do what you do.
Exactly. No, that's sweet.
So for my personal reasons, I don't need this question answered, but I know people are going to ask us about two things, and I want to briefly touch on one, a little bit about uncut angling, and two, 39 hours. Yeah. Now, me and Patrick talked about it. We're like, do we even want to bring that up? And I'm like, man, you got to think of the viewer. If they know Jay at all, or if they know uncut angling, or if they know 39 hours, they want to hear the scoop.
Oh, man. Yeah.
But first, before I get into that, why does Aaron, I know you guys talk about schedules, but why are you not doing as much involved in uncut angling anymore, or as of right now?
Myself personally?
Yes. Aaron's been doing, a lot of his own filming and stuff.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you're not doing more full-time stuff, knowing that the success of uncut angling online?
You know what? Like, the success, I've told Aaron right from the start, I'm like, I think good camera work helps, but I said at the end of the day, like, there's a lot of kids that are cranking out content, filming it themselves, vlog style, and I mean, maybe I take a little bit of credit with some of the camera work at the start, but it's just like Aaron's personality is what has locked people in. And I told Aaron, I'm like, you could make a video with your iPhone and 50,000 people would still watch it, right? Like, obviously it'd be nice to have me there and to, have like a little more of a dedicated cameraman, but when he does it so well himself, it's like he needs to do whatever he needs to do, and he's got more of an open schedule. So, I mean, it's all good. Like, there's nothing. I want to film with him whenever it works. But
I was just gonna say, that's just. I mean, I only met you once personally, but you're such a great guy. I mean, that's just I don't know what the word would be for that. For you to just encourage Aaron to start doing a lot of it himself.
Well, and that's the
huge
thing. I'm like beyond wanting to be associated with it, because like, honestly, all the doors that have opened, I give full credit to Aaron and to Uncut Angling and to the foundation he helped set and brought me along. Like, I was brought along on all these trips that were, experiences I wouldn't have gotten into on that same timeline. So, getting brought along and meeting all these contacts that now are ending up, keeping my personal business busy now is incredible, and full credit to him. And then on the other side, it's like, I want whatever it takes for him to be successful to happen. And, obviously I'd like to be there, but bigger than me being part of it is like, I want him to just absolutely crush it, because I think I'm biased, but he's the best. Like, I watch a new episode, even if I filmed it, I'm just like glued to the screen. I'm like, what's going to happen next? And it's just,
I know exactly what you're talking about. He, a matter of fact, like my story to get on, how I became a part of Fish Addictions was I just made a little post on Facebook that I watched 3 fishing shows, and now I know why I don't watch them. And then Aaron calls me, and we're talking fishing shows, and I said, the only show I really watch is Uncut. And he's like, I get it. I said, most other fishing shows are very boring. Like, they could be in a PowerPoint. Like, they're just kind of like, well, this is the presentation for today. I mean, that kind of stuff, where Aaron, it was just pure entertainment, but it had some great information in it. But the way that you guys brought the entertainment part of it, nobody else was doing.
Yeah, the personality and the entertainment value is what made it. And, I tell them all the time, like Patrick, I say, hey, fishing shows to me are super boring. And that's just how it is in my life. I don't know.
You sit around and you look for hidden GoPros.
Yeah. I don't. Yeah. I sit, when I film and edit shows, I get real bored with the physical aspect of fishing TV shows. So when we brought Fish Addictions TV, it was a different style of show. The personality is different. The camaraderie. It's not just 22 minutes of pure fishing. It's sitting around the campfire, cooking food, and joking around and goofing around, because fishing needs to be fun with your friends. And Uncut Angling was the same way. Aaron, fun, personality. I mean, not too many shows do bloopers and behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And we've done 1 or 2 episodes, and you guys have also done bloopers and behind the scenes. And that stuff, maybe it's because I'm a cameraman. I don't know. But I watch those bloopers, and, I just get excited because I know what it takes to put a TV show together. And I know there's bloopers. I know there's screw-ups. And it's awesome.
There are some stories. And just, I mean, I think the other part that has always been the challenge is Aaron is always adamant that if we don't have the big bite, we're not going to put out the video. So it's there's been some shows where there's a lot of very nice fish caught, and we caught the 38-inch pike but didn't catch the 42-inch pike, and the footage didn't see the light of day, and I was just like,
wow,
it's
that's like an uncut secret right there.
I mean that's just how it is, right?
Yeah, no, exactly. If it's not the way you want it to be, don't put it out. That's you can. In another sense, it is a cool storyline to see that not every day on the water is a good day.
No.
Exactly. And I like to see that aspect, but that also comes to, is it going to be a boring episode? I don't know, but it's just like practicing safe ice, right? If you guys go out there and you're like, there's big fish here, but the ice is crappy, you don't, for your sponsors and stuff, you don't want to promote bad ice.
No.
But it just depends on how, I guess, the episode comes together, and if you feel that it's worthy of getting put out there, and that's a cool way to look at it too.
And speaking of putting out videos, I've been wanting to ask you this since, I knew you were going to be a guest here. So I see on my Facebook page a new video from Uncut Angling. I hit play. Here's Aaron in a boat. He doesn't have any tackle with him. He's got a bunch of boxes. Now, is this ringing a bell?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he pulls out the YouTube
play
button award, and he makes a lure out of it. And I was like, OMG.
Yeah.
And there is people out there that are like, they've been working at it for years to get this.
Yeah.
For years, and it still isn't in their mailbox. And here he is out in a boat drilling holes in it, putting hooks on it. What was your feeling when you saw that? Or
it was incredible. As soon as I watched it, I'm just getting goosebumps because I'm like, this is just Aaron to a T. And then, I mean, for you guys that haven't seen the video, Aaron catches multiple trophy-sized pike, and then at the end, he takes the silver play button, unhooks it off his leader, puts it back in the frame behind the glass, and seals it up. And that's the end of it.
Let's be honest.
Let's
be honest. It looks awesome that way, right?
Oh, it's so good.
It looks so much better with the hooks in it.
Yeah.
And then
we had a guest.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say we had a guest on 6.5 and 6, Bob Bolin, and he was talking about that video, and he said the exact same thing Aaron just said. He said when Aaron put that award back in the box with the treble hooks and a little bit of green weeds hanging off it, it just looked 100,000 times better.
Yeah, so cool. So cool. And I watched that, and I'm like, man, that might be the best video ever. And I'm like, good for you. Like, keep crushing it. And
well, that you helped get that, right?
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of where that question came about.
Yeah,
you have a nice.
Yeah,
you definitely have that personality of that aspect in life where you're like, oh yeah, Aaron's awesome, Aaron's good, but man, give yourself credit, man. You helped.
Well,
you helped start it.
Thank you very much.
And that 100,000 subscribers came from somewhat, in many ways, the beginning of your skill level and how it became hanging up on his wall.
You're making me feel all warm and fuzzy now.
Well, here's the thing. Like I've never associated Uncut Angling without you. And every guest we've had here on the podcast, or every person that I know in the fishing industry knows Uncut Angling. And Jay comes up, Aaron comes up. It's always been a team between you two, and you might not feel that way because you don't do as much with him, but trust me, the world on the lower 50 or 49 states down here below Canada, we definitely give all props to you.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
And I would be real honest, a show can't, be put together without that cameraman or without that editor, even though there's people out there that film it by themselves and stuff.
Yeah.
It's still a whole different aspect to not film it.
Yeah.
With technology, I mean, come on, he's got the drone.
Yeah.
5 years ago there was no drone. When that technology just improves to the point where you don't have to have a camera guy in a sense. But
It's changed
know,
fast, yeah.
Absolutely. So you also do a little bit of hunting, right? And this is maybe or not, I wouldn't say hunting, but filming of hunting, right?
Well, yeah, like
in a sense.
Man, probably 70 or 80% of my work this year is filming for the province of Manitoba. So filming a lot of their hunting and fishing marketing. And
a lot of people might not know that about you. So I wanted to kind of hit that.
Yeah.
Because I know I've seen goose hunting videos with you, and Travel Manitoba, which we just got hooked up with Travel Manitoba this year too. So I'm super excited because we go to Canada 3 to 4 times a year, and we've already been up there once this year, and excited to see where it goes. But continue.
Yeah,
so you Travel Manitoba.
Yeah, it's great. They've there's a change in management, and the new guy who's doing the hunting and fishing marketing for Manitoba is just absolutely crushing it. Like he has guided for 30 years and still guides, and now he's the consultant for the fishing and hunting marketing, and he is just doing the best job. Because I mean, if you're in the industry and you understand it and you've worked in it, it's that much easier to market, right? Just for you, Aaron, like for you filming hunting and fishing, you're a hunter and a fisherman, so it's that much easier, right? So same thing with the marketing, and he's got huge visions, and he's brought me along for a lot of it. So I'm just excited to be. I mean, obviously I'm very Manitoba proud, and I know there's amazing hunting and fishing here. So I've gotten, head first into the hunting scene, and I guess I've been filming waterfowl for a couple years now. Filmed a turkey hunt, bear hunt, and filming my first whitetail hunt this spring. And the learning curve is just crazy because I mean, after filming with Aaron for a number of years, we got to fish with some incredible fishermen, and even just every time I fish with Aaron, it's just I'm learning something new. So I've seen some incredible fishing experiences. So now to flip over to hunting, I know nothing about hunting. 3 years ago I knew nothing, and now the learning curve is just so steep because every time it's just like, oh, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And it's I love it. I love it because there's just so much to learn. Like it's complex.
Jay, do you hunt when you're not filming or anything like that?
Yeah.
I know you fish because you were a guide up at Wollaston.
Yeah, I went goose hunting for, it was the second time ever in my life a couple days ago, and shot it was like my second and third goose I'd ever shot before, and it was so exhilarating. I was like, oh man, I've got the bug.
Congratulations.
So thank you very much. Yeah. So
right. You have video footage out there. I think you were the first person ever in Canada, if not ever in the country, world, whatever we want to say, to fly a drone inside a flock of geese.
Was that Jay?
That's correct? Am I correct?
You were very correct, yes.
And that came out
I
over a
seen the
year
video,
ago.
but I must not have been paying attention.
Well, there's other people that have done it since.
People have
so you gotta
stolen
make
it
sure
too.
you're watching the right video.
Somebody else sent me a link, and they said, "Is this your footage?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's like, "Oh, somebody else used it in their video." So it's.
And it was a Travel Manitoba video. Correct?
No, that was a personal.
Or no, sorry, it was a guide service.
Yeah,
Wasn't
that was from a couple
service
years ago
or something.
And it was pretty gnarly footage. Yeah, like the drone laws keep changing, so I'm just getting more and more careful because you just got to be careful with all that stuff. Like at the time, it was very
with
lax,
animals and stuff too.
But now I wouldn't do that anymore. That was.
I was just gonna say that probably now that would be some sort of wildlife harassment type thing.
Yeah, and just everything's changing so fast. Like you have to be on top of the regulations because, man, it changes so fast, especially with drone stuff now. Like you can't. I don't think you can have a drone along when you're hunting, like, especially not for scouting or for even setting up decoys is. There's a lot of gray, so I'm just using it. I'm using it less and less. I'll use it for some landscape shots, like before, after the hunt. But other than that, that's it. Like, it's, I understand. Like, especially with big game, if you're using drones, it's not fair at all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why in Alaska and stuff, they don't allow you to fly a plane within 24 hours of shooting.
Yeah.
It varies. I just learned that. I was listening to Meat Eater podcast with Steve Ranella, and he was talking about that very same thing. And it varies on which area you're going to hunt. Some places you can come in on a plane and hunt that day. Other places, it's 24 hours, and it can be up to 5 days.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
After your plane sets down, you can't hunt for 5 days.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So if someone wanted to see the video of you flying that or doing any of your snowcross, any of that stuff, where can they go to see some of your awesome, just your work? I mean, because I have a feeling that if no one's ever heard of you, which, oh my God, if you haven't, I apologize, but if they haven't heard about you and they were like, oh, well, I want to see some of these cool videos from this guy, where can they look?
Well, if you just search Jay Siemens on YouTube, I've been uploading a lot more to my YouTube channel. I've been doing a couple more videos myself, some behind the scenes and some vlog style, and that's something I'm going to be doing a lot more of in the next just a couple months. In the new year, I'm going to be pushing a lot harder into filming some of my own hunting and fishing and kind of seeing what happens there, and maybe some more behind the scenes on some shoots. So that's something to keep your eyes peeled for. But yeah, if you just go to YouTube and search Jay Siemens, I've got 25 or 30 videos probably up there, and a little bit of everything. I've some fishing videos, some travel vlogs, some behind the scenes stuff. So
Yep. A little fanboy moment here. I subscribed a while ago.
Nice. I appreciate
it.
I appreciate it.
I think when you first announced it on Facebook, I'm like, yep, I'm just going to go ahead and subscribe to that right now.
Thank you.
And you do, you guys were, was it part of Uncut or not? Correct me if I'm wrong here. Catching a fish in an ice hole.
Yeah, that was Aaron and I. That was two winters ago, and I was like, Aaron, this.
And Aaron just did the same thing on the boat.
Yeah, he did.
Too.
He did it with bluegills on the boat, and we did it with a Phantom. I think it was a Phantom 3 or Phantom 4 on the ice, and caught an Arctic char, and it was it crashed, but the drone survived, and it was fun. I'm glad we took the chance when we did.
It's one of those things where if like anyone's listening, that's like, okay, stop for a second. You flew a drone through a crowd of flying birds. You catch fish with your drone. I need to check this dude out. That's what I'm getting at.
I've gone through a couple drones. I think I'm on drone number 8 or 9 now. So
that was my next question.
How many drones have you
gone through? I had one that disconnected from my remote, which was it wasn't a human error. It was like a computer error. And my drone disconnected, and it's sitting somewhere on the side of a mountain in Iceland somewhere. So that one.
I had I had it. Something very similar happened. I was flying it actually here in northern Minnesota, and it was cold, so it just had a little less awesome signal than it really wanted to. And I was flying it down in a swamp, actually the swamp right out behind the studio here. And I was, I don't know how far away, but I wasn't that far away. But with the cold, it just sucked.
Yeah.
And I dropped it down, and then all of a sudden I lost signal, and it said drone is returning to home. And at this point I'm like, oh gosh, because I'm below the tree line. And it didn't come up, and it was like wanting to come up. So I started running towards it, and all of a sudden the signal came back, and I was able to stop it. And it was like 15 feet from a tree, and I shot it all the way up.
Oh man!
And then brought it all the way back down here. So yes, but I have crashed a drone into a person's face while filming. I've crashed it into a tree.
Yeah, you've got some more stories yourself.
Oh yeah, it's good. Everyone's like, oh yeah, they're pros at flying it, and when you fly it, you kind of act like a pro, but deep down you're like,
well, I think you guys are just pushing the limits. That's all.
Well, yeah, I mean you've gone through 8. I haven't gone through any, knocking on some wood. I've been close, but I don't want to get that. Speaking of 8 drones, have you destroyed any cameras?
Have I destroyed any cameras
in your time? Yeah.
I mean, of those 8. They have not all been crashes. I've sold a couple and just upgraded and stuff. But one of them I lost the camera. I mean, often the camera will rip apart from the drone. Like the camera will go in one direction, the drone goes in the other. But I've crashed into trees a couple times. And
how about like physical cameras, like rain damage, slip and fall?
Oh, you mean a big camera?
Like DSLR, like big cameras.
Oh, I dropped one big camera, one uncut camera. Canon XF100 I dropped in the water while filming a carp episode with Aaron. That was painful. I was standing in the water and had it on a monopod, and it slipped and went for a swim. And then probably my grossest experience was I had a backpack full of gear and it got driven over, and the lens like pancaked flat and then ripped off the body of my Canon DSLR. So it was like the connecting end was still connected to the camera, but the lens just ripped off in the middle.
So the horror stories.
How did it get driven over?
Man, we parked the vehicle And I put the backpack beside the vehicle, and then all of a sudden my buddy's dad comes back to me 5 minutes later, and he's like, yeah, I was moving the vehicle and I hit something. I hope there's nothing valuable in there. And it's all my camera gear. And I'm just like, I'm just nervous to open it up, right? Because I see a tire mark on the side. And I open it up and it's just the grossest thing I've ever seen. Like, I wish I had the lens near me because
like
it's nasty. It looks like someone just took a sledgehammer to it.
That's
The worst,
so bad.
the best part and the worst part was I bought insurance 3 days before that happened. That was the first time I got camera insurance. So I'm sure the company thought I was scamming them for sure, because like 3 days before I get insurance, and then my backpack gets driven over. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just drive it over. It's insured. Heck with it.
but
Okay, so now I want to jump to a little bit on the 39 hours. Why did you guys start that? Did you think it was going to be that successful, and will there be another one?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to take. I definitely helped with a little bit of the brainstorming at the start, but Aaron had been watching Canal Gratis. It's like it's a European YouTuber, and they do something called Fly versus Jerk, which is it's a pike competition.
Oh, yeah.
And Aaron had watched some of that, and he was like, I wonder. Definitely took some inspiration from that. I was like, how could we transfer that over? And we were just like brainstorming teams, like what's the right dynamic, and there's just so many variables on something like that. Time of year, because the weather. I mean, you get bad weather, and all of a sudden your 39 hours is screwed. It's not that long once it actually starts rolling. So I mean, we got the teams together. I flew out to Saskatoon and filmed with the Conrad twins, and Brett Gardner, who's done some work with Uncut Angling, filmed Aaron and Manny in Manitoba, and then Paul and Taro had a cameraman out in Toronto named Jacob, and we just went the amount of memory cards that Aaron had before that, because the thing is, when you're filming for 39 hours straight, you don't have time to back up memory cards or charge batteries. So we had 30 memory cards and 15 batteries, like huge big Canon batteries, and we just went at it.
So none of it was. So what you're legitly saying is none of it was faked. It was legitly 39. Because with camera work,
it was legit.
You know
like
what I'm talking about. It was 100% 39
I don't remember
hours,
it, like, because it was such a blur. The first couple hours I remember, and then all of a sudden when it was like the first night and we'd been filming for 14, 16 hours, it was just, it all just blurred together. Like those twins that I filmed, they only slept, they're either driving or fishing for, I would say 36 of the 39 hours. Like they pulled over and slept for 2, maybe 3 hours. That was it. The rest of the time they're driving or fishing.
What came about the name of 39 hours? Why 39? Why not 40? Why not 24?
Yeah, 39 was a typical weekend, I guess, with how many hours you have in a weekend, right? So it was like I think like a Saturday. I forget exactly, but it was just a typical weekend, how many hours you'd have in a weekend, and that's what we went with. And I think if we did it again, it would be knock out the night part of it and just do like 3 daytime sessions, because the night part, some people didn't have night bites. The twins had some more night bites going on, which helped them out, but it's tough if you're not.
Yeah, it's a part of the adventure too, you know. I mean, but it's cool to know it wasn't faked, because with camera work, you guys could have been like, okay, terrible weather, we'll just move this to the next day, or vice versa. So I mean, that's hardcore in my mind, and I don't know if anyone actually put that together in their brain.
And just
they did 39 straight hours.
It was wild. Like there was times where I wasn't asleep the whole time or awake the whole time. Like I napped in the front of the boat. I had the camera on a tripod in the front pedestal, and I took a nap, and the camera just kept rolling, and if they'd catch a fish, they'd wake me up, and yeah. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't stay awake the whole time. Like it was wild.
And that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, that's probably a good thing. 39 hours is a lot.
You need somebody there that has some sort
a little bit of sanity,
sense left in their head. Yeah,
and then like
sanity,
I mean, obviously with the whole tiebreaker, we could have just found some way to say whoever won, but the fact to go to the tiebreaker and then hammer a bunch of big walleyes and give everybody an extra 39 hours, it was great. It was a lot of extra work, but I think it turned out.
Honestly, it makes me want to watch it again. So that's what I'll probably do next week.
I was glued to it.
Is watch it again.
Everything.
Well,
else
you know what?
stopped.
Like, man, there was people that that don't watch fishing. Plain and simple, they're not fishermen, and they came up to me and they're like, "I'm hooked on 39 hours. I've been watching 39 hours with my mom, like, or my siblings, or whatever it was." It was like people that I never would have pegged, even knew about uncut angling, and they were saying, "I can't wait for the next episode," and asking me who won and stuff. And it was interesting. It definitely had that right mix of reality that brought non-fishermen in, which is, it's the dream, right? You want to bring non-fishermen into the scene and get them fishing.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well,
you want to take the boring fishing scene and change it up a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what you did.
You got to put a little gas on the fire once in a while. And I know here in Bemidji, within the fishing circle here, that right away we all picked our favorite teams and we're cheering it out.
Throw down money.
I mean, it was just like football or hockey here. It was like, and I picked the Conrad team.
They were planned. They were dialed. Those guys they're hardcore. Like they had, talking to the Toronto guys since, Paul and Taro are like, yeah, we really should have planned it out a little more closely. But the Conrads, they were like, hey, we're gonna go here. We're gonna catch a brookie. We're gonna do this. Like when that clock started and they got the doubleheader of Lakers right away, or hooked up with the doubleheader, I was like, yeah, these guys they're dialed. Like,
yeah, I've chatted with those boys a couple of times, and we've traded some burbot pictures, and when 39 hours was going on, of course, and I've sent Aaron my bullhead pictures before, because I'm the odd guy out here in Bemidji. I like to target those giants, and they're fun guys to talk to. They said, well, we might have to make a ride down that way to try to catch some of these monster bullheads. And I said, Aaron said the same thing. I said, well, my door is always open, and if you're willing to drive this far for bullheads, I will gladly take you out for however long you want. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Will there be another 39 hours?
My prediction.
And have you
my
considered
prediction
ice?
Is yes. When will it happen? I don't know. Things will have to align. Aaron edited the full 39 hours himself last time, and that was quite the process. As you guys know, is always a deadline to the Wednesday evening or whenever he uploaded it, right? So
absolutely.
Well, you know what, Jay? I have an idea. We should, maybe we could do this 39 hours, Canada versus.
Oh, I think
United
it needs to be huge next year. I think we need a couple American teams for sure. Like, it could turn into something huge.
That would be fun, actually.
Yeah.
You can make it international.
This has been thought about for a long time since 39 hours ended. A few of us here in town were like, it'd just be super fun. To be calling each other and bragging about this and talking about that, and man, we should try to talk them into maybe even Canada versus Northern Minnesota.
It would be great.
Versus Northern Minnesota.
It needs to happen.
What I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be super fun.
Have you ever considered ice fishing for it?
That's a thought too.
It's just
it's tough because ice fishing, the days are so short, and it'd be a little tougher. I think it could happen, but I think a different it might have to be less
it.
hours, or it might have to be something a little bit different. But
I don't know if camera equipment could hold up to that.
It's a lot of in and out. And if you did it in March and you had 12 hours of light and the weather was warm, you could do it.
Possibly, yeah. So, Jay, what we do, all of our guests, pretty much all of our guests, / us, is we try to give stuff away to our fans. And you were talking about photography. I was thinking, what if you donated a photo, or I bought a photo, whatever works, and you autograph it and we give it away
on
Facebook.
For sure.
For the Broken Line. Like a Jay
selfie.
Yeah, I'm
Come on.
No,
Jay selfie from a GoPro.
Selfie.
That'd be epic.
I was just thinking
honored.
of, one of your photography shots that you could, do a wrap or whatever, something that's not expensive. And then just, a nice autograph on it, and then we give it away to one of our fans.
Let's do it. I'll donate it for sure. Let's make it happen.
So we'll chat.
Awesome, Jay. Thank you so much.
I don't know if you can see
awesome.
right here. I guess you guys can't see my camera, but you'll see this later. But I got a giant printer behind me, so I'm always printing on my own. It's not the cheapest, but.
Oh, so I was literally gonna say, you can donate one. Forget them. We're gonna throw it in the studio. So what I'm saying, I'm gonna have to get more than one.
We take a picture of the picture.
I'll just send you two.
That's the prize. Oh, come on now.
You don't have to get crazy.
It's only ink.
Don't get crazy.
But I just thought of it. So it's only ink. So I have a couple more questions. I know you have a couple of
I
questions.
just
Do
have
you
a
want
couple,
to ask some of your questions,
Okay.
and then I'll ask a couple of mine, and because we're rocking about 41 minutes now, so we can get another 20 minutes or so in.
Like we've talked about before, and you'd mentioned, you started out as a guide up on Williston Lake Lodge. Is that right?
That was where I ended my guiding career. I started at Eagle Nest Lodge.
Okay.
And then I went up to Bolton Lake Lodge, which is northern Manitoba, and then Wollaston was the last 4 years of my guiding. So I guided 7 years in total, and 4 of the years were at Wollaston.
Okay. Do you still do that once in a while, or are you pretty much stepped away from that?
I miss it, but just with how work has led me back to the same places, I actually spent 9 days filming at Wollaston this year. So I got to go back and film and fish with my same buddies, some of my best friends. So it was pretty cool to see it, because it was a tough decision when I stopped guiding and went full-time photography. And I was like, man, I love guiding. I love being in a boat every day and dealing with fish all the time.
Right.
And then when I switched photography, I was like, the dream is to film hunting and fishing, but who knows if there's enough work in that industry, and I didn't know for sure. And then now I've been lucky enough that most of it is hunting and fishing, and so I got to go back to Wollaston this summer and film, some awesome fishing in the lodge and connect with my buddies. So
Good.
We've
awesome.
chatted with Aaron a little bit, and I've chatted with Jay a little bit about trying to get Fish Addictions and Uncut Angling together for a filming trip. And I know, Aaron, he likes to do it on his own, plus his schedule's all over the board. But I think it would just be fun to do a collab with him.
for sure.
By the way,
show up on his driveway, just camp out on the driveway until he comes out and kidnap him.
well, we were there like a month
that's a
ago.
YouTube show in itself right there. Fish Addictions camping out, and it's been 42 hours.
42 hours in Aaron Reeves'
exactly.
driveway. Could be a kind of a blow up type
Right?
social media type video. His mom's cookies are so good. I just
They're
wanted
the
to
best.
throw
They're
that
the
out
best.
there. Oh my god.
Yeah, you ran into him recently, didn't you?
Yeah, we were up in. Well, it wasn't a run into him. We were giving him some tackle because we had Tony with Acme with us for Acme Tackle.
Gotcha.
And it was just like, let's meet up. And he was a busy schedule because we wanted to do a little filming with him while we were up there. And he gave us some cookies and we chatted a little bit. And I'm like, man, it would be so fun to work out a collab or something with him. Or I would love to get him on the podcast as well. But
totally.
His cookies were awesome.
Well,
Cookies are great.
Jay, the studio door is always open.
Yep.
You've
Next
got
time
our
you
numbers.
fly down here.
I appreciate it.
Just come and
I'll
hang
swing
out.
by. You guys are in Bemidji, right?
You
Yeah.
bet.
You
So
are.
what you're
Not too
saying is,
far.
come down. My parents got a resort here. Come down, stay. We'll film, we'll fish, and we'll do in studio podcast.
Perfect. That's Big Turtle Lake, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Big Turtle Lake.
There you go. It's only 3.5 hours from where I'm at. I live right on the North Dakota border in Manitoba, but I'm right on the border, so Bemidji isn't far from me.
Yeah, it's basically for me to get to Winnipeg is about 4.5. You're like what, an hour south of Winnipeg?
Yeah, exactly.
Somewhere right about there. Yeah, so we're not far. I mean, we
That's
could just
like driving to the city.
Yeah, exactly. We could be like,
crazy.
let's go have lunch with Jay. Okay, it's
Meet halfway.
It's 9
do
o'clock. Just
Yeah.
take a drive, and then we'll video podcast it type deal on the way up to you,
Perfect.
and
Yeah.
we'll hang out up there, and you need to come down here.
One of my last questions here before we get into the rapid fire round, which is always a blast. Since you've been so many places with your photography and a little bit of your fishing travels, what would be your top destination to fish, and what would you want to fish for on that destination?
Oh, man. I mean, my favorite fishing experience, probably favorite thing to fish for up until this point was tarpon in the Florida Keys. Just because tarpon they're just absolutely the king of the ocean from what I've seen, like just incredible. But man, beyond that, it'd probably be, oh man, I don't even know. It'd probably be fly fishing. Probably fly fishing for Giant Trevally, like somewhere. I mean, Christmas Island is a go-to destination, but something very remote, saltwater, sight fishing. Something along those lines, yeah.
It sounds like saltwater. Saltwater would be
Some
the
sort
winner.
of saltwater type trip.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, I don't do enough salt water. It's just a bit intimidating if you don't have a guide. It's a
I've
little
never
tougher to
done
do
it.
on your own.
I've
Yeah.
never done it once in my life. I'm hoping to someday. But I just had a conversation with a buddy about that, and I'm just like, I don't know what I would want to fish for. Part of me is like, absolutely. I'd have to spend at least a year on vacation because my list is so sporadic in everywhere.
Yeah.
Like you said, tarpon. I'd love to get into a tarpon. And then at the same time, I'd also like to take like a light action walleye rod and catch some small reef fish of some kind that are cool looking, you know.
Some weird fish that you're scared of because it looks all weird at you.
And he said giant trevally. I just saw a video at work today. I was at, lunch, just scrolling around, and they had video footage of giant trevally eating birds off the surface of the ocean.
Oh,
they're
I saw the
savage.
same video, actually.
I had no idea.
There was a bird flying 1.5 feet above the water, and this thing
Boom.
flies out and just inhales the bird.
Hammer time. So if you go fly fishing for giant trevally, you better tie up some seagull-looking flies.
Exactly. Seagulls
Big
flying
old
a lot of fly line backing.
Throw a seagull out there. What's your end goal in the industry? Everyone has a goal, right? I mean, is there something like, okay, when I first started out, I was like, I need to be in a national commercial. Did that. I need to film a national commercial. Did that. I need to be on the Outdoor Channel. Did that. So it's like, what's a goal of yours that you want to try to accomplish within the next 5 years in the outdoor industry?
Oh, man. Well, it's tough. I want to do more teaching, but I also want to spend a little more time maybe toying around with being on the other side of the camera a little more. I've enjoyed doing this vlogging and some of the teaching,
which we enjoyed
educational
as well.
vlogs and stuff. So I'd like to push further into that. And I mean, my personal business is expanding too now. There's a crew of 3 of us that take care of things instead of just myself, which makes things, easier for me and the potential for a higher end product, obviously. So I don't know. And then just now I'm watching Planet Earth 2 and I'm like, oh man, if I could film that stuff, like, I'm always going to have filming, fishing is going to be the core. And I just want to, I guess, do better than I did myself the day before. Right? Push myself to do something else, something that hasn't been done. And I love the thought of, at least just some of that Planet Earth stuff where those guys are filming for like 40 days for one shot, for one 5-second clip that just is, everything is perfect, right? Because I don't know, it's not fun when you get the shot every time. I want to wait for that one crazy shot that drives me to insanity, because I don't know. There's something about when the fish or the animal lines up with your framing and your focus and the stars align, right? So.
Oh, absolutely. You were saying there that 40 hours for a 5-second clip. I was watching some sort of documentary on, I believe it was Siberian tigers, I believe. And there was a guy that literally spent 3 months in a dug earth blind with just camera rolling. Like he left he hardly ever left. He had people bring him food. He literally stayed in there. Like, he had physical ailments afterwards. Like,
wow.
His joints were all messed up and stuff.
But he got the shot?
He got like 2 minutes of footage of a Siberian tiger in the wild. And that was his goal. And that was like, wow, talk about dedication.
Yeah. Haley always tells me, I feel like I've done quite a bit of accomplishments in my life, from national magazines, commercials, all this good stuff. And she is unsatisfied with me until I film for National Geographic. Just get a photo in National Geographic. I'm like, what do you mean? Look at all this other stuff.
I was gonna bring up Nat Geo and see what you guys thought about that.
I did some research on it, and it sounds like you need a degree of sorts to work for them. And I met a National Geographic photographer just a couple of weeks ago on a shoot, and he said it's just not like it used to be. Like, they're freelancing, and like, it blew my mind. He said, I forget what they paid for cover shot, but like the daily rates and even the cover shot, it was so incredibly low. And he said guys will just do it because to get the Nat Geo name, right? So Nat Geo knows that they can lowball people just so you can have it on your portfolio. And I understand. I would do it for free if I was in National Geographic, but
absolutely,
I
would do it for free if I could get a photo in that, even just on their website or some Instagram, on their Instagram,
Yeah.
Okay, so we have.
Is it rapid fire time?
We have some rapid questions, and it never actually turns out to be rapid in a sense. But basically, what we want is just small, short questions.
Okay,
right?
I'm ready. Real quick.
Open water or ice fishing? What do you?
Open water.
Open water.
Open water.
Interesting. Actually, I don't think I've ever seen.
This is where it gets long.
I was quick. I was quick on the answer.
Fishing.
You were
Yeah,
quick,
you
and
were
it
quick.
stunned him, and
And it
now
stuns
he's
me.
created it so that it's now longer. Than
Hunting or fishing?
Sorry, what was that?
Hunting or fishing?
Fishing.
Fishing. What's your favorite piece of equipment when shooting?
Oh, favorite piece of equipment when shooting?
Yeah, drone.
The drone's a game
certain-
changer. I mean, it would either be drone or slow motion. Those two just have changed the game for me. Just I remember buying my first FS 700 and like having the ability to shoot slow mo, and it changed everything.
I'm gonna agree with you on that one.
Yeah.
I have one more than Patrick has a couple. Sony, Canon, or neither?
Ooh, all my video is Sony right now. All my lenses are Canon, but I think I'm gonna switch to Sony for everything. Sony's killing it. I think I might switch to Sony glass too.
I did the same thing. I switched from Canon to Sony, and now I'm all Sony.
Yeah, it's good.
Quick side question: have you seen the new GoPro, the 360 GoPro?
I have not
Fusion?
seen the 360 GoPro.
Okay, so when you get done with this podcast, look up there's a GoPro 6, obviously, but they
Yeah.
have the GoPro, was it Fusion?
Fusion, yeah.
And it's 360 degrees, right? But
Yeah.
you can pick how you pick your shot in post editing
Oh wow.
to be a normal GoPro shot. So if you want to do a time lapse from left to right, you can. If you want
Oh,
to
that's insane.
go down, you can. It's
Yeah.
like incredible. Just watch the demo
I'm gonna have to
video
order one of those
when you
right
get-
away.
when you get time.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing because you put one of those in the boat and you're filming every angle, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
I Patrick showed it to me, and like 2 days later, I had it ordered because
Really,
it's in
they're
pre-order
producing.
time
I'm gonna
right
have
now.
to check this out. I'm gonna check it out right now. I'll be honest.
It comes in. It comes out in
I'm
on the
November.
computer. Yeah.
The keys are clicking.
Middle of podcast, he's like, and I bought it, and I told Mike, I was like, hey, for Fish Addictions, I bought a GoPro Fusion, and he was like, I was like 360 GoPro. I was like, dude, it's not like normal 360 videos because some 360 videos are just lame. You can literally pick your shot and track motion with it, left, right, up, down. It's so sweet. And then Mike's like, you could have done something better with your money, or with you could have bought something better. I'm like, dude, no, you're not gonna realize it until you see it in action.
Right.
So when you look it up,
Yeah, it looks cool.
GoPro Fusion, and then there's a
He's on it right
2-minute
now.
Yeah, I got
video
it.
that shows them the post editing a little bit of it too. But okay, so just wanted to throw that out there.
No,
So
that's
you
good.
learn something every day, right? Patrick has a couple rapid questions, and then we're pretty much almost be done with you.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
Rebel or Empire?
Sorry, what was that?
Rebel or Empire?
Empire.
Nice. If you were here, Patrick would give you some knuckles.
Oh, yeah. Polar bears or sunsets
Oh,
for photography wise? I asked polar bears because they're my favorite animal on this planet.
really?
Always
I mean,
have- always
I'd
have
have to
been.
say polar bears. Polar bears are a little more unpredictable.
Another
High five.
knuckle for you.
And then one last one.
No, 2 more. You got to ask both.
Oh, yeah.
of those.
Winnipeg Jets or Minnesota Wild?
Ooh, I got to go with the Jets.
Kind of figured that
I'm a
one.
Montreal Canadiens fan though, but it is what it is. So
And last one is poutine or chili cheese fries.
poutine, for sure.
Absolutely.
All right. You know what? I'll be honest. I've had a poutine dish down here, but I'd rather have it up there. Just because I'm sure it's way better. Kind of like we have a Tim Hortons here in Bemidji, and it let me down. That's all I'm going to say about it.
That's too bad. Timmy's is a pretty safe bet here.
You know,
And Tim Hortons, I went through the drive-thru yesterday with Haley, and they stick their card reader out to your window, so you swipe their card. And she's like, "Why do they do that?" And I was like, "I'm pretty sure every drive-thru in Canada does that."
Yeah, exactly.
Just don't want to touch your disgusting, gross card. In my mind, that's as I remember when I was up in Canada, last year, I went to good old McDonald's, and they did the same thing. It was wintertime. They stick their hands just freezing as they hold out the card swiper,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, I even legitly said right after I said it's Canada. They're a little bit more smarter than us, and that's
just a little.
Not sure
Just a
about
little.
that.
just a little bit. Man, the way our world's going nowadays,
I'll tell you what,
it's getting
Jay.
crazy.
I've had a blast.
It's been good chatting, good catching up with you guys, and finally chatting with you, Aaron. And I don't know the
yeah,
last
let's
time.
not wait 5 years for the next one, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I had a blast. I think a lot of people out there should listen anyways. I mean, I hope you shared and let people know a little bit more about stuff that they might not have known. I definitely learned some things from you, and I've been talking with you and following you for 6, 7, 8 years, whatever it's been. It's been quite a while.
It's been a while. Yeah.
You have a stalker.
Yeah, you have a stalker.
No, it's good. It's good.
We actually, in one of our episodes, we've talked about, did we talk about Jay in one of the episodes? And we said if Jay walked through the door right now,
Yeah.
I would pee my pants, get super girly excited or something.
Yeah, were we talking about photo apps?
Yeah,
Was
it might
that
have
one?
been one of the episodes where we were
You'll have
talking
to
about
link me to
photo apps
that.
or something. I have to figure out which it was one of the first couple, and the first couple were, where you're just getting started, and now we've hit 10, 11, and we're still getting our direction going in the way we want it. And yeah, so we've mentioned you before in the podcast, and I don't know, when there's someone like close to my age and is in the same industry as me, and we both do the same things, and photographers and videographers usually are a little bit weird because we have crazy eyes.
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
We
super demanding.
a little bit of artistic value to it, and we're just a little bit different. And when there's other people, I get excited. And I have a friend, Jake. He now has now working for the Next Bite, and he's from Bemidji as well. And he was how I first started out in the industry. And he is also the same thing. We're just a little weird, so you just get giggly and excited.
Yeah.
When thinking or talking about other people.
Yeah, if you come down and I'm here, I'm just going to stand off to the side and Snapchat that whole meeting.
Me and you can start talking cameras and all this stuff. I did have a slight question.
Yeah.
For which I shut down my thing now, but I thought of it when I was talking about photography apps. Since we did talk about photography apps in like episode 7 or whatever it was, what do you do any iPhone or cell phone photography, and if so, what's your favorite cell phone apps that you have? Do you have any for video editing, photo editing, time-lapse apps maybe? Anything that helps you?
I use I have an iPhone 7, which has 2 cameras on it, iPhone 7 Plus, and it's great. I don't do it that. The only time I'll use my phone is if I'm at a concert or something. Otherwise, I always have my camera. But honestly, the video quality is just insane with an iPhone. Like I'll just save it and bring it into Adobe Premiere and then edit it there. But I don't do too much on my phone. I normally pull it out right away and we'll do it on my computer. But man, apps. What photography apps do I use? Well, right now I'm using my GoPro
any
app.
Instagram or any fun social media
Not
type things. And if you don't, then kudos to you that you usually reach for the bigger camera.
I try to, because I'm always thinking at the end of the day, can I print this picture? Can I make it big? And I mean, I know you can get away with a lot with a phone, and they're getting better, but
not the way a photographer thinks. I've had people come up to me and they're like, "Oh, it's for the website. Can I use this iPhone photo?" I'm like, "Dude, that's not the HD that I want.
Yeah.
I'm trying to blow this thing up, man. I'm trying to give me something I can use,
Yeah.
Last thing, is it snowing there?
There's a couple inches of snow. It's nasty. They shut down the highway between Gretna, where I live, and Winnipeg. Like, the border's closed right now. You couldn't even cross the border and make it up to Winnipeg.
Unreal.
Wow.
It's definitely
crazy.
We got a couple inches. First snowfall of the 2017-2018 season, which means ice fishing is coming sooner.
And you guys are excited.
And we are excited.
I still want to muskie fish. I'm not done. I'm going to go to Lake of the Woods and do a little muskie fishing before it completely freezes. So,
yeah, Jason Rylander hit me up today about maybe going and trolling for some muskies this weekend with him, and I'm trying to talk him into going on a crappie bite, but he said it'd be more fun to troll for muskies.
Yeah, both good.
I might give that a whirl.
Nice.
Yeah.
As the snow falls. Well, so do you think we can nail this ending that we talked about?
I think we can.
Perfect. So, for the giveaway, let's do So we do codes for Facebook that people have to message us to get in a drawing.
Yep.
So let's do think of something.
Shutter Freak 22.
Shutter Freak 22. So if you want to get in
I
the
don't know
drawing,
where the 22 came in.
if you want to get in the drawing for one of Jay's photos signed by him, send us a Facebook message, Shutter Freak 22, and you'll get in a drawing. Same as usual. Like us on Facebook, social media, SoundCloud, Google Play Store, iTunes, the whole works. Subscribe. Go over and check out Jay's Facebook. And aren't you on Vimeo too?
A little on Vimeo, but most on YouTube right now. So if you just go
YouTube,
Jay Siemens YouTube, that's the best. Or jsiemens.com. It's got links to a bit of everything. But
go check out his website, his YouTube, his Facebook, the whole works.
And subscribe.
And subscribe, the most important thing of all. Subscribe to
the Broken Line.
I hope. Yes, there
That's
you go.
the
There's
most
a
important
shout-out.
thing.
Thank you. That's the most important thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed Jay's talk, and I could talk nerdy camera stuff.
We'll
this
talk
is another
again.
one of those.
Hours.
Yeah, this is another one of those where it could have gone for 6.
Could have gone for 3-4 hours type of thing, but we just hit an hour. So I'm Aaron.
I'm Jay.
And I'm Patrick.
And this is
The Broken Line.
perfect. Jay, thank you.
Thank you,
it was
Jay.
No
awesome.
problem. Thank you guys. It was
We will
fun.
talk to you later. Definitely. We will definitely be in touch, and we will chat with you later.
Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
Let's quickly finish out our podcast by just saying for awesome having him a part of.
That was fantastic,
Yeah,
man.
that was awesome.
Sorry about that, guys.
But what I wanted to really get on is our new intro now says, for all the people that haven't been out there,
Is this the big moment?
Broken Line Podcast presented by Fish Addictions TV or Fish Addictions. Right now it says Fish Addictions TV. And we've now kind of attached and associated ourselves with Fish Addictions TV because we are part of Fish Addictions TV. And Andrew Kraft is
Should we
calling-
answer it?
No. We'll call him back in a couple
Okay.
minutes. So we've now associated ourselves with that. So now we have a title sponsor of Fish Addictions TV. So what that means is we are going to be doing behind the scenes to Fish Addictions TV, different episodes, anything that
Staff
Fish Addictions
members.
does, staff members.
I mean,
It's going to be a behind the scenes of a TV show as well as everything we've been doing, bringing in other guests, talking about random news, outdoor stuff. So we're just attaching this to our program of what we're doing.
Yep.
And
I think it's a perfect fit. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
And starting next episode, we're going to start to have a little bit of a platform of the direction we're heading with our podcast and just get the ball rolling to have a little bit more unity and form for where we're going. We've also added, on top of Ice Strong Titanium Spring Bobbers, we've also now added 13 Fishing, which you're repping now. Striker Ice,
and
Eskimo Ice Fishing Gear. So they are now attached to us for awesome sponsorships, and we're going to try and do some sort of we'll try and figure out maybe some giveaways and stuff to do with those throughout the season. But yeah, a little bit different. I just wanted to close out this whole awesome podcast we just had with Jay, and I hope it works out. So for the people that are out there, what we've just tried to do, and hopefully it works, is Jay.
Right. This was a first time for us.
First time for us, absolutely. So we did a phone call style podcast, but for me, I want to always keep the quality as best as I can, right? So since Jay's in the same industry as me, photos and videos, he filmed himself in Canada and recorded his audio in Canada, and he's going to send us the stuff. So
You're
hopefully,
going to mash it together.
I'm going to mash it together. So hopefully, since this is the end of the podcast, it was a success because you just watched it and listened to it.
Yeah.
But we got just awesome talking to a person like that and just
You
getting
know,
in depth.
I always knew Jay was a great person, was a great guy, and to just when we were talking about the uncut angling part and how he was just like
And his
go
photography,
Aaron and crush
given
it, just completely. What's the word I'm looking for?
I know what you're trying to say. It's
Selfless.
yeah, he's not
He's not
selfish.
Selfish.
He's
yeah.
not like that. He's the opposite. He is opening and giving and saying, "Hey,
And,
you guys want this,
and
I can
giving
help
credit too, because he said, basically he said without Aaron asking him to do uncut angling, this door of videography and photography may not have opened up as far as it has for
So
him.
he's respectful in that way of thinking that
Absolutely.
worked out great.
Yeah, I mean, and then the guy's got a big heart. He's he just like I was saying, photography, the way he approaches photography and videography is the same as how us in the fishing industry are trying to get. We're open, talk to us, we'll teach you things, we'll show you things. It's not this like, no, this is mine, I don't want anybody else to know how to do this. I found that in rod building too. Like, I always thought it was like this super secretive thing. And when I really got into it and I started meeting guys from all over the country that were just wide open, they're like, no, man, we want more people to learn how to do this, because the more people that learn how to do something, the more new ideas come, whether I mean, that's how these camera companies, they probably get all these features and these, it's because more and more people are doing it, and they're giving those feedback, and they're like, well, looks like we gotta start making this lens or whatnot and so forth. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It just helps expand it. So good. That makes no sense. That was terrible. I'm tired, guys.
I get
the
what
fish house season is here, dude.
Absolutely get what you're saying, and I just wanted to add at the end of this, awesome person to talk to. Awesome that we've added a title sponsor like Fish Addictions TV.
I'm excited.
Awesome that we've added other sponsors to our list, and we will slowly in the next few podcasts slowly start to really grasp where we're going in the direction. And over the wintertime, we're going to be building our new studio.
I think they should cancel Christmas because it's already here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's here right now.
We're gonna be chatting and building and videotaping and goofing around and doing more podcasts.
Do we even dare say that we're gonna have two
studios?
2 studios? Because how?
Man, that'd be crazy.
You know what, Aaron? The next, it won't be long. We're gonna have, what do they say in the hip hop, with ice and gold hanging from our neck?
For sure.
Absolutely. We have a winter studio coming
and
up.
A summer studio.
We have a summer studio. We haven't named the lower or the other studio.
No, and we'll come up with that.
Yeah.
But we've already really done our signature sign off. But let's just do it again. I'm Aaron.
I'm Patrick.
And this is
The Broken Line.
The Broken Line.
Thank you for listening, and I love all of you.
Thank you for listening to Broken Line Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media. Like, share, comment, and subscribe.